Good afternoon. I want to start by saying thank you guys for coming out today. Really, this early signing day has made it interesting to have National Signing Day on this Wednesday, a little bit different than years past, but we're very fortunate to have two young men sign with us today, Davion Mayo, a linebacker, and Maurice White Jr., a defensive tackle. Very excited about those two young men, obviously about the 14 that we were able to sign in December, and 8 of those newcomers already being here. So really exciting. We addressed some of the needs on our defensive side of the ball by bringing in 2 positions that we didn't sign in December with a playmaking linebacker who's very athletic, very exciting, and a big defensive lineman who will actually be the biggest defensive lineman that we have on our roster. Really excited about having our current young men here out on the field working, getting things done, and before we know it, spring ball will be right around the corner. Any questions?
Coach, we know it's all starts up front. Prior offensive lineman, how the new offensive lineman going to do in your place?
Yeah, so it's look, the guys in the room are really excited about the direction we're heading with the offensive line. Uh, Coach Bridges does a fantastic job. We're excited that with what he'll continue to do with that development. I'll still be heavily involved with those things moving forward. But those guys in that room understand that the task at hand and what they need to accomplish. So
On the defensive side specifically, and you mentioned a couple positions you wanted to address, but what overall were you looking from the defensive side to improve on?
yeah, we signed 2 defensive backs on the December signing period, which were nice, and one of them's here already. And then once we figured out who our defense coordinator was, obviously very fortunate, excited to have Mike McIntyre as our defensive coordinator. And once we realized the scheme we were going to be playing and what positions of need that we had, able to sit back, kind of peel back everything and see what we needed. We realized that we needed to have an inside linebacker that come in, and we found that guy in Davion Mayo, and then also a big defensive lineman, right? With what we're going to be able to do up front, we've looked at that as a position need and be able to add a junior college player that will be here and roll with us this summer. It's really exciting.
What about characteristics they have on the field? Was there an overarching theme they kind of looked at?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're always going to look for playmakers, but first and foremost, it's find the right type of person. And so we're always going to look for the best fit. It's not about stars. It's not about rankings or any of that stuff. It's about finding the right fit for what we want to do. And it all starts with the type of person, right? These are great student athletes that are going to come in and fit what we want to do at the University of Memphis in our football program. So that's the number one thing we look for first. And then, heck, they're fantastic defensive players that we know are going to fit our scheme well and get along and be great in our locker room.
Hey, Memphis has played with a chip on their shoulder for the past 5 years. Now you got a championship. How do you make sure they keep that chip, that edge with them when they play?
Well, I think it's an everyday approach. It's not sitting here. I told the guys yesterday when I talked with them, I said, what you did in the past, nobody cares about. Great. Kudos to you guys. Pat on the back. But and I've said this before, it's that Memphis versus everybody approach. And we're going to keep that mindset every single day. And whether it's in the weight room, in the classroom, you have to keep that chip on your shoulder. And if you're not hungry, we'll get run over. So we're going to continue to pound that into their heads that we've got to continue to work to improve. And I think they all have that sense of urgency, and we're going to keep pushing it in the right direction. And we got a great coaching staff that's going to continue to have that understanding with those fresh faces. And that's the nice thing is it's not about my message, it's about all of our messages as a staff, and we're excited about that moving forward.
You talked about the fit and the fit family and all that, and that's really good. What about the fit as far as who out of this class you think will have a chance to play early, or are you even looking forward to get on the field?
Yeah, so when you have 16 signees, the nice thing is we're going to throw it into the mix. A great competition. I've told you guys that since 5 years ago is I love competition, and every single player that we sign is going to have the opportunity to go out there and compete. Is it going to be harder for some of these incoming freshmen to play? Sure, but guess what? We wouldn't have signed them if we didn't think they could make our program better. And those guys that fit, they may fit at a different spot here or there. The nice thing is a lot of these young men are getting the opportunity in the spring to see how they'll compete and where they'll stand up. And then those other guys will be joining us here in June. That's another nice piece is that, hey, let's throw them into the mix and see what happens.
Did it feel like a recruiting win when you get Brady White and Marcus Kelsey coming back?
Yeah, we look back at those things, anytime you get fantastic young men and fantastic football players that say, I want to continue to be a part of that program. 2 guys that had the opportunity maybe to pursue other opportunities and look into the NFL in their future, decide, hey, you know what's best for me? A guy like DeMonte Coxey knows, hey, I want to come back, continue to help out my draft stock, but most importantly, graduate. And I think that speaks to the young men's character. And Brady White talking about his teammates and the success that he knows we can have offensively and as a team as a whole and being around his brotherhood. And to me, that's exciting. And, I look at another win. I think it goes unseen. I look at this coaching staff, these 10 coaches, plus our support staff. from top down with recruiting to operations. I think it's the best in the country. So to me, I look at those as constant wins by being able to put those people together and those pieces of that puzzle that will allow us to have success for a long time at Memphis.
What was your approach with Brady and Monty in terms of whether it was convincing them or laying back and letting them make their own? How did you approach that?
I think with everybody that I come across with, whether it's a player, whether it's a coach, whether it's a parent, whoever it may be, is be very open and transparent. And I think when players get to see, hey, you want their best interests at heart, and you're going to tell them, hey, there's pros to this, there's cons to this. This is how I believe and see things. And I think at the end of the day, when they know that you want their best interest, whatever it may be, and you're going to tell them exactly the truth, and I think that was part of it. Those guys said, hey, look, there's a lot more pros coming back to University of Memphis, being a part of this football program, moving forward and seeing what kind of success we can have. That's the exciting part about it. And look, it's an easy sell. I mean, look, we've got wonderful fans, the community, the university itself. I mean, there's too many things that sell itself where I'm not out there having to beg these young men to come back. They're excited to come back and continue to lead our team in the right way.
Even if it's free, give you a chance to sort of catch your breath. It's season and it's a hiring process and it's filling out your staff and recruiting and you get a chance to catch your
Yeah, that's a great question. I think in this role as football coaches and as the head coach, it's minimal time for that. And I think that's okay because I wake up every single day. If I went to sleep, I wake up those few times I do excited and cannot wait to get into the office. I'm probably driving our assistant coaches nuts because I'm racing that send on the text with a comment or a question or something I want to get done. But when you love this much and you're excited and the movement and the fortune that we have to be here at the University of Memphis, I don't look at it as work. It's the old coaching cliche. I've never worked a day in my life. So, yeah, I'll catch my breath at some point. But to me, this is fulfilling and exciting every day to come to work with these young men and this coaching staff. Sadly, I have. It's interesting. I probably shouldn't share this, but the one question they asked me when I interviewed for this head coaching job when I was interim is, what's the one thing you're really going to struggle with being a new head coach? And the very first thing that came to my mind was I'm going to struggle learning to sleep and just trying to, because there's so much excitement. And guess what? It should be that way when you got a program like this.
What advantage take away from having the best game?
Yeah, you couldn't have asked for a bigger atmosphere to start off when in the Cotton Bowl. But really, I was excited for our young men, right? Our players got to go out there. They deserve to play in that atmosphere, right? In that environment, AT&T Stadium, obviously a world-famous bowl with a lot of history. So just for me to be able to be a part of that, and it just so happened to be my first game as a head coach, look, it's something I'll never forget. And obviously, I don't like the end result. I'll never be happy with a loss, but I thought our young men went out there and battled and played hard, and that they showed that they were willing to play and fight and believe in what we're going to do. And moving forward, I think that just continues to create the momentum we want and the sense of urgency to continue to improve every day because they believe in what we're doing.
How about that Cotton Bowl, Bill? Is that you expect it to carry in the springtime? I mean, I know you have it yourself, some of the new coaches that you brought in, and amongst the guys you've been able to see before you guys get out there for real.
Yeah, look, we're excited about what happened in the past, but like I mentioned, every year stands on its own merits, and really every single day. So I've got to be better than I was yesterday. Our coaching staff knows that our players got to go out there every single day and work to improve. Really excited about what happened in 2019, but we're in 2020, a new era. And I think that, look, it's great for recruiting to show that we're able to compete with the best programs in the entire country. We are one of the best programs in the entire country, but to continue to push moving forward, it's every day is going to stand on its own ends, and we've got to keep working.
What did you realize that you weren't going to get much back in
Well, I had some different conversations with Coach Mack throughout the weeks leading up to things, and he's a well-respected man, right? Not just as a play caller, look at what his resume speaks for itself, right? I mean, national coach of the year, numerous honors. I mean, head coaches at various spots and been successful. And obviously a great defensive play caller as well. But I put all that together. Anybody that's been able to spend time around Coach McIntyre's realized what a fantastic man he is. And you go talk to anybody throughout the country, they just talk about his character. And him and I sat down, and I actually sat down with him and his wife, and the values that they share, the things that they believe in, they were in line with a lot of the way that I believe and want to do things. So I think it was the right fit at the right time, and we couldn't be more excited that he's part of our coaching staff.
Any early signees enrolled this spring?
We had 8 early enrollees. So they'll be out there. You guys will get a chance to see all those young men this spring, and they're excited. They've been hitting it, getting it. Some eye-opening experiences with the way we work and do things, but it's awesome. They got a certain buzz about it, and we're really, really pumped that they're here early. Well, I don't think there'll be any shock to anything. I think you're going to see a team that's going to emulate the things that we preach here, right? And what we stand on are our morals. We've used the mantra all in. And I think that you're going to see a team that's going to believe in each other. It's going to work their tails off to achieve goals every single week, every single day. You're going to see a smart physical team that's going to go out there and play fast and represent their city and their university the right way in everything they do.
For you, I mean, just how different was it now being a head coach going through this recruiting and signing?
Everyone says, well, how much did you prepare to be a head coach? And in 22 years, I think as an assistant coach, you kind of realize what is my long-term goals, what's going to happen. So I just worked every day to be the best assistant coach I could be and be really, really good at, or try my best to be good at my job. And at the end of the day, some of those things prepared me to be in this opportunity. And so when the chance came to be the head coach with this recruiting deal, look, being at Memphis, like I said earlier, it sells itself. So a chance to just come out here and be a part of this and continue those things I believe in, what allowed me to get this head coaching job were the same things I was able to talk to recruits about. And so was it that much different? No. I just had to end up in a little bit more homes than I'm used to being in. Do I have any more spots available? There may be a surprise here or two this afternoon. Because I believe in this program. Whether I was going to be named head coach or not, I care about the University of Memphis over everything. And so I was named interim head coach. I was supposed to be in an in-home visit at 5 o'clock that night. I had to do a press conference with you guys, which I enjoyed. I had to do a Cotton Bowl press conference, a teleconference with Coach Franklin. And I got on my flight, and I was 4 hours late for my in-home dinner, but that's okay. We got the recruit. He signed. He's already working out in the weight room right now as we speak. And then for me, it was being able to push and keep that class intact. And to me, that was huge. It was, again, whether I was going to be named head coach or not, I wanted to see the university and the football program succeed. And even the morning of my interview, I was in schools visiting with prospects because I believed that was the best way to continue to do this thing the right way. Thanks, guys.